Hi, I'm Gigi, and for our how-to quest, you either had to learn how to do something or teach someone how to do something. I decided to learn how to do something and then teach it to everybody else. And what I chose was to juggle. I chose to juggle because I thought it would just be a fun experience in general, and I thought it'd just be fun to learn, and it would just be a fun skill to have. I decided to make a slideshow for mine, and here it is. How to juggle. First step, you want to get used to throwing and catching one ball. So this is just going to make it easier to go on to 3, 2, 5, whatever. Just knowing how to catch one ball, it'll just make it more easier. It's not mandatory, just it'll make it easier. Step 2, once you get used to throwing and catching one ball, you're going to move on to 2. You could honestly do anything with 2, or you can't do anything, but you can do most things. You can just throw them up and catch them, or you can throw them up and switch them. And yeah. And then moving on to step 3, this is where it gets a little bit confusing. What you're going to want to do is throw one ball up, and as the first ball is coming down, you're going to throw the second ball up. So it's kind of a confusing pattern to learn, but this is the main pattern to juggling. So you're just going to throw one ball up. As it's coming down, you're going to throw the second one up, and then so on. You're going to usually start with your dominant hand, and that'll just make it easier. Step 4, you're going to want to do the same thing, but with 3. Step 5, to juggle 3, you are going to do the same step as step 3, but the second ball is coming down. You are going to throw the third ball up. So this is where it gets confusing, because this is when you're actually starting to juggle with 3 balls. So I'm not here yet, but basically you're going to throw one ball up. As it's coming down, you're going to throw the second one up. As that one's coming down, you're going to throw the third ball up, and so on. It's going to take a while to learn the step, but eventually you'll get there. Now I'm just going to say some tips. First tip, you're going to want to act as if there are 2 corners on top of your head. So if you put your arms all the way up, those are where the corners are going to be. Step 2, try to keep the balls hitting the imaginary corners. Now, moving on to step 3, you're gonna want to you're gonna want to try and keep your hands closer to you, so your elbows both on your hips, so that way it's easier to they're not far away from you. Step 4, you're gonna want to have the balls be around the same size. It's just gonna make it easier to grab and everything like that. Step 5, it's gonna be better if you have a bit softer balls, so tennis balls won't work as well. It's going to be a bit harder to learn. Another tip is to keep them higher up and just make sure they're staying high. And when you're first learning, try to keep both of your balls higher up, so that way it'll make it easier, and as you're getting used to it more and more, you're going to get lower and lower eventually. You're going to want to have the balls be around the same size as your palm, and that will just make it easier to grab, and make sure you're not kind of switching off between balls. Just kind of keep the 3 ones. And that's everything I know about juggling. I hope you enjoyed learning, and just remember to be patient. It's going to take kind of a bit longer to learn, but I don't know, it's different for everybody. I'm still on step 3, and I'm moving on to step 4 and 5. But that's all the tips I have. I hope you enjoyed learning, and goodbye.